Hello and welcome to this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. I'm Mikey. And with me as always is
Matt.
Matt.
It's Ma.
And this week we are going to be covering two Liverpool games: Liverpool versus Southampton, Liverpool versus Porto. We're going to take a little look at a Man City game as well, Man City versus Spurs. No point in looking at Man City versus Brighton because they won the game as they were expected to.
Can we have a laugh at Man United as well?
We can have a little laugh at Man United, I suppose.
Specifically their fans.
Yeah, and I suppose if we can fit it in as well, we might have a look at the rumours flying around about the Liverpool kit deal.
Yeah,
the Nike deal. Okay, so that's the first time we've heard that itinerary as well, so let's fly through it now. We're going to start with Porto because Southampton was a really long time ago now, and it feels a bit pointless covering it. We will get to it, but not loads. But Porto was only 2 nights ago. Now,
It was.
Porto.
It was good. It was a nice, boring 2-0 win. And
we don't have them.
We said after Southampton and we said after Spurs, we just want a nice, boring 2-0 win. We missed those.
Mm-hmm.
And, never really got out of second gear. Second half, it seemed like we decided 2-0 was fine, and they also decided 2-0 was fine, and it just kind of petered out into nothing, really.
It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was lovely.
We literally... I think, basically, the message before Southampton from the fan base was, listen, we want this game won by 30 minutes. So we can rest a little bit, because we know this is going to be a hard... Yeah, exactly, it's going to be a hard graft the rest of the season, let's be honest here. Liverpool have got 9 games left this season if all goes to plan in the Champions League. But those 9 games have the potential to be probably the most difficult 9 games you'll ever see.
Yeah, well,
for a fan, not for a fucking, not for this squad of lads, because they're fucking boss of footy. They just do what they want. But for fans, we don't see that. We see them go 1-0 down at Southampton, and
heads immediately go.
Heads do immediately go. We see Jordan Henderson starting in midfield, and some heads go. That will be something we will talk about in a bit, about Jordan Henderson's newfound old role, I guess, is the best way of putting that for Henderson.
His newfound, old-found new role.
Yes, exactly. Maybe Brendan Rodgers knew what he was doing in the first place, but we'll get to that in a bit. So starting 11 against Porto. Alisson in goal, as always, hopefully. Alexander-Arnold, Lovren, Van Dijk, Milner. Lovren and Milner coming in there for Matip and Robertson. Henderson, Fabinho and Keita, and Salah, Firmino and Mane. Now straight away I looked at that and went, yes, that's probably the best team Liverpool have available.
Yeah. Obviously Robertson's out, and we'd all rather see anyone at left back other than Moreno, to be honest.
Yep.
It was nice to see Lovren come back in. I thought he did really, really well for being out for so long.
He was fantastic.
But I think the thinking with that was Porto have 2 quite physical strikers. Lovren loves a battle.
Yeah, and Matip's not cut out for him.
Yeah, Matip's not cut out for him, and he's shot, but whatever. The midfield then picks itself, because of no Milner. Wijnaldum needed a rest, but it is a very, very good midfield, and we see during this game like how good Keita does, how good Fabinho does, and how brilliant Henderson is in that more advanced role again. And then obviously the front three,
picks itself without question. Yeah, I mean, well, I said we talk about Henderson, we may as well get onto him now. He has apparently turned around to Jurgen Klopp and said, listen, play me further up, because I'm a better footballer further forward and I'm not enjoying myself. And last 2 games, when he's been more advanced, Liverpool have looked 10 times better with him on the pitch.
Well, I don't think it's that he said to Klopp, I'm not enjoying myself. I think he said that I think the team would benefit more from me being further up. Because, we all know that he moved into that holding position because we didn't have another holding midfielder who could spray the ball like he could. Now Fabinho's in. It's taken a while for Fabinho to get into that position properly. Has made it his own. Now Henderson feels like he can go to Kloppy and he can say, okay, now's the time for him to move me back forward for the team, not for him, for the team. Because for the last 3.5 years, he's been playing that role, and there's been absolutely no murmurs of discontent or that it's a position he doesn't want to play at all. I think that speaks volumes about like the professionalism. And Milner at left back as well. They are the old heads in this squad. They are the professionals, and it's telling that those two are the ones that come on to save it as Southampton.
It's impressive you should say that they're the old heads, because Jordan Henderson's only 28.
Yeah, but he's an old head in this team.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He does feel like he's been around forever, but he's only 28. Sadio Mane's 27.
Fucking hell.
You know what I mean? Sadio Mane's 27. Bobby Firmino's 27. I think Salah's 26. Turns 27 in June.
Yeah.
So he's not that much older than a lot of this team. All right, he does turn 29 in June. I'm just checking now. But when you actually look at it, he's not that old. I mean, when you say an experienced head, I automatically look at Daniel Sturridge, who is 29. Do you know what I mean? So Henderson's still younger than him as well, but he's been around for so long now. He moved to Liverpool in 2011.
Yeah.
So we're getting on for 8 years now since he first moved over. And he has just got this wealth of experience he's picked up. He has played in some fucking awful Liverpool sides, but he's also played in some great ones.
He's the best challenged. He's challenged for every trophy since he's been here.
Well, that is true as well. Yeah, I mean, it's something I've not really thought about in that.
FA Cup, League Cup, Europa, Champions League.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like he's got the experience. He knows what it takes, or he knows what it doesn't take to win those things.
Yeah,
I think the fact that he sacrificed himself for the team for the last 3.5 years, I think is brilliant.
Yeah,
I think the fact that he's being unleashed again is so good, and it's nice to see him back properly, and hopefully the Henderson haters can fuck off and die.
At what point do you think this conversation between him and Klopp happens? Because there's a part of me that think it happens a lot earlier on than this change has happened.
Do you reckon?
Purely because we've seen Henderson play that role a little bit throughout this season. Do you know what I mean? Every now and then you just see him be a bit more advanced. But it feels like now there's a point where we can trust Fabinho to do it properly, to do that role comfortably enough. So Henderson wasn't going to start the season playing there because you need time for Fabinho to bed in. And obviously he's now fully ingratiated into the team. So now it does mean Jordan Henderson has this license to do this because you can trust Fabinho now. He understands the style of play a little bit better.
Well, the fact that we brought in Fabinho in the first place, obviously there must have been a plan, because Henderson's still captain.
Yeah, exactly.
There must have been a plan for Henderson once Fabinho came properly in. So maybe it's been a plan all season to get to a point where Fabinho is cemented as a starting defensive midfielder, and then move Henderson forwards and unleash him as a more attacking mid that we haven't had up to now.
It's not even as an attacking mid. I think it's just a box to box. He's the definition of a box to box midfielder, isn't he?
But that ball for the second goal against Porto.
Well, this is the thing. And when you play a player like Jordan Henderson further forward, although people will jump on his passing when he's playing further back, he does just keep the ball moving. And when he's further forward and somebody makes an intelligent run like Trent does for the second goal, then players of Henderson's quality being that far up the pitch will automatically mean you are going to create better chances because they have the ability to pick that pass out.
Yeah.
Now, it is fantastic. I mean, he's phenomenal against Southampton. Man of the match by a mile.
Yeah.
He's not far off for in this Porto game.
You put it down as Lovren as your man of the match, didn't you? I thought that did Henderson a great disservice. I thought he was man of the match.
It's not.
Lovren was great. I really think Lovren was really good, but I just thought Henderson was again just proper captain's performance.
No, and I can fully understand that. But Dejan Lovren he hasn't played for 90 minutes for Liverpool since we were beaten by Man City.
Wow.
So
a while ago now.
Yeah, exactly. So he's been injured or on the bench since then. He had 1 minute against Tottenham, 3 minutes against Southampton, and then he comes in, plays 90 minutes, and has a performance like that, where he's comfortably dealing with everything Porto throw in his general direction. There's a point where he bails out Verge in the first half.
Van Dijk, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it's not like a slight against Henderson or anything like that. It's not trying to be edgy.
No, of course.
No, it's not like trying to be edgy or anything like that. It's literally just the fact that to come in when you haven't played in that long and be that good straight away, it does speak volumes about Dejan Lovren's belief in himself more than anything else, because you saw how long it took Joel Matip to get back into the swing of things. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? He's even now, he still doesn't look comfortable all the time, but you know what I mean?
Just every now and again he reckons he's Iniesta and just tries to dribble through everyone in midfield.
Fucking, I'm so sick of seeing it, but he does it a couple of times against Southampton.
And then he passes it straight to a Southampton player. Yeah. Invariably.
He's just so frustrating. But I think Lovren coming back in is testament to what Porto have up front in Suarez and Marega. Because, you know, it is a more physical battle. Like Virgil van Dijk, you don't have to worry about. He can play against anyone. I do think Lovren has always struggled against pace, whereas strength, he's always up for it. The Harry Kane game aside, where he gets to
when they did employ a bit of pace, they did have the beating of Lovren a couple of times, and I think it was with Marega. If Marega could finish, different game, kind of.
It's not even that Marega can finish; it's that we've got a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of those where, you know, last season, any chance that came about normally went in the back of the net.
Yeah, that is true.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas this time round, we have a goalkeeper who you look at and you're like, right, well, he's saving that, isn't he? So it's fine.
It is nice.
Yeah, exactly. This team's at a point now where we can depend on certain individuals to make good performances rather than, you know, let us down in the Champions League final.
First goal, then.
Yeah, the first goal. I mean, it's fantastic from Milner. Milner looks up, picks the ball, wins a 50-50 basically. Well, I say 50-50, probably a 70-30 in Milner's favour. But he dinks the ball through to Mane on the wing, and then it's a really intelligent bit of movement from Firmino to pull the defender away. Mane flicks it in. Firmino back to Keita, and for another deflection, Naby Keita has his second goal for Liverpool. Big week for Naby Keita.
Massive week for Naby Keita. I have a question for you.
Okay.
If he scores in every game to the end of the season and we win the double, does he get Player of the Season?
No, no, that.
Say it.
If he plays well,
extra points if they're all deflections.
If he plays well across the games, then I mean, he's got a case for most important. Well,
if he wins us the league and the Champions League, if we win both of them 1-0, and they're both deflected, goals.
It's not fair to say that, is it? Because he's got 5 league games left over a. Well, how many has he played? Like 24 or 25 or something like that. Over this season, Virgil van Dijk has been the best player in the world.
I'm just desperate to be right.
No, you can have most important contribution over a point, but even then, I don't think you're going to get it, because I think Bobby Firmino's come alive recently.
He has, yeah.
I think
last 4 games, I think it's been goal, assist, and assist, and a goal. Which is just ridiculous.
It's alright, isn't he?
Yeah. But he's just a complete forward.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that he does, no one else in world football does it. It's
no, exactly.
So weird.
Not to the level that Bobby does. I mean, we'll move back to the second goal in a second. But yeah, we're talking about Keita. But yeah, I mean, I think he's fell into this run of form now where it almost seems like Jurgen Klopp knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's really weird where Jurgen Klopp decided not to play him for a while.
Manager?
Exactly, it's strange, isn't it? Jurgen Klopp decided not to play him for a while, and then he gets an opportunity against Southampton, away at Southampton, where he's, you know, maybe he wouldn't have been first choice if Adam Lallana could stay fit for more than fucking 3 games a season. But yeah, he gets his chance. He takes it this time round, and then he's against Porto, and once again he takes his chance. So he's fallen into this run of form, and it's just about the same time that we're seeing Bobby Firmino fall into this run of form. It's about the same time you're seeing Jordan Henderson falling into this run of form. Mo Salah looks like he could score every week again, which is lovely. Hopefully he does against Chelsea this weekend.
He did everything but score for me, including nearly get a red card.
Well, exactly. I mean, we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I do think it's important that a lot of these players are coming in at the same point, basically coming into this run of form. I mean, as I say, there's 9 games left this season if everything goes to plan. And I mean, at worst now Liverpool have 6 games left this season.
Yeah,
which is fucking mental, really, isn't it? And that's assuming Porto turn it round as well. So these lads have to be brilliant for 6 to 9 games, and they seem to just at the right point now, just seem to be finding something.
It's almost like those warm weather training camps that everyone said were a failure because we came back and drew a game, were actually good for something, because that's what warm weather training camps are for.
Yeah.
So you're fine for a run-in.
It all depends on how you look at it, doesn't it? Because I mean,
but that is the general aim. When you go on a warm weather.
But I do think points picked up in a season are valuable whenever they're picked up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
true.
The points we dropped against Leicester and West Ham quite easily derailed any title challenge this season.
Yeah, of course.
Let's be honest, if City hadn't have lost against, what was it, Newcastle, Leicester, Palace and Chelsea, they've lost against this season. If they hadn't have lost 2 of those games, this title race would be done with. Do you know what I mean? So it's all. I mean, it's all if buts and maybes. But obviously, I mean, if Liverpool hadn't have dropped points against Leicester and West Ham, maybe this title race would be done with in our favour instead. But it's. I don't know. I do think there's arguments for and against the warm weather training camps. Obviously, we saw the bad side of it when we played immediately after them. Seeing the benefits of it now, hopefully. It all comes down to how good the pre-season was as well, when you think about it. And it also comes down to useful player management as well. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about, with Naby Keita, we're not talking about a player who's played 45 games at this point in the season. For example, like the Man City midfielders who can't fucking seem to stay fit at the moment. Gundogan went off injured recently. De Bruyne looks like a doubt again. Fernandinho's getting rested.
Bernardo Silva had a tweak.
Bernardo Silva exactly seems to be the latest player as well. And then you've got the strikers as well in there. It seems to be like game management in this squad, and not just playing your best players over and over again is becoming more and more important as this season goes on, which is obviously, it's common sense. You know what I mean? If you can spare them when you're not needing all 11 of your biggest stars, then in the long run that you'll benefit from that.
I think we take Mane off on 70. I think
around that. It's not far away.
So that was nice.
73rd. So yeah,
nice to see him to get a bit of rest. Firmino comes off for Sturridge.
I reckon that's the worst 8 minutes I've ever seen from a professional footballer. Discuss.
He's got an head like mine. It's an absolute 50p head.
He shits out of the tackle as well on the left-hand side.
No, it wasn't just one tackle, it was quite a few.
Yeah, everyone in the Kop just went, "You fucking shit out," all at once. And it was absolutely horrible.
He probably heard shit house like in unison from everyone.
I feel bad for him, because if I was as injury prone as him, I would probably be a bit of a shit house as well. But fuck me sideways, I've never seen anything like more embarrassing for a footballer than that. And I've seen Dejan Lovren get put on his arse by a West Ham player who wasn't even trying to tackle him. But yeah, it's poor from Sturridge. But yeah, I do think we're at this point now where we can, we are looking at management of certain players, and obviously the front three have played a lot of football this season, but management of certain players who've not really, of your Hendersons and your Keitas, who you're looking at to be a bit better than they have been this season. Maybe I think Jordan Henderson's only got his first. It's his first goal of the season against Southampton. Mm-hmm. I think he's had 1 assist before that this season.
Can't remember.
But even then, his first 2 goal involvements this season, I think, were Southampton. I might be wrong there, but
yeah, okay.
It's either his first 2 or his second and third, which isn't enough for a midfielder who's challenging for the league. And Naby Keita, we were expecting this midfielder to come in and be an absolute powerhouse. He's only got his first goal on the weekend, and now he's got his second. But it's nice that we're seeing that these players are now coming alive. And yeah, I do think it does lend credence to what Klopp's been doing this season. The second goal I do want to talk about as well, because you mentioned Bobby Firmino there, and obviously he scores it, but it's the wing play. It's the wing play and the build-up. Starts it on the left-hand side and then gives it to Jordan Henderson.
And then, after that, he doesn't run, doesn't sprint, doesn't even break a sweat, just kind of drifts to where he needs to be, just waiting for the ball to come back, because he knows. He knows exactly what's going to happen. A lot of people are screaming at Henderson to pass it earlier or whip one in, but he holds on to it for what seems like too long, and then he releases it for Trent, making a nice diagonal run, and it's so nonchalant from Bobby. Like, he could have known looked, but I think even that would have been too much effort.
I was.
He could have just stopped and let it bounce off him.
It's such a simple goal from Liverpool's point of view, but it's still beautiful, and Jurgen Klopp said that after the game, it's a world-class goal. Yeah. And it is, because Porto, this isn't the Porto we beat 5-0 last season.
No,
this is
they're no mugs. They're absolutely no mugs.
Exactly, and you've only got to look at their league form this year. I mean, they've lost one game since New Year in the league, and that was against Benfica. So, against their direct title rivals, so they're not in dissimilar form to what we're in. Do you know what I mean? We've only lost once to our league rivals as well at the end of the day. So, this isn't a poor Porto team. This is better than the team that we played last season. So, a year more experienced as well. But so's this Liverpool team.
Yep.
And this Liverpool team whilst Porto have made the jump from a poor Champions League team to a decent Champions League team, Liverpool have made a jump from a decent Champions League team to arguably could be the favourites for this tournament. And I
know odds were definitely slashed when we won, City lost, Juve and Ajax drew, and Barca looked shite.
Well, yeah, I mean, the prevailing theory from last night was that after the Man United game is that Liverpool will batter either of them. I do remember thinking a very similar thing after I watched Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid last season.
Yep.
And we know it doesn't always go to plan like that.
Yeah,
but,
true.
It is, it will be interesting.
Keeper could shit his brains out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the game of his life.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, from that point on, it's a comfortable game. It's
really
well managed, and it's nice to sit here and say it because my head didn't have to fall off. We all had a nice time. We all had a good sing-song. Some of us more than others. But nobody freaked out. No, do you know what I mean? It was nice. We didn't have to panic too much. We could just sit there, enjoy the game. The final whistle went. We were like, 2-0 up. That's great. We'll go away to a place we won 5-0 at last season. All right, as I've just said, not the same team, but we still go into this next game with confidence. We'll be better because we'll have Robertson back and probably a fresh Gini Wijnaldum as well.
Yeah, happy days.
Rosy, isn't it? It's fucking lovely. It's a stark contrast to what happened on Friday night.
Yeah.
May as well talk about that now, shall we? Yeah.
Just a little bit, bit.
In fact, the one thing we should probably talk about actually before we move back to Southampton is the Mo Salah challenge. It's a red card.
It's definitely a red card.
It's a really poor tackle. It's really poor from Mo. It's the innocence afterwards as well, where he's looking at the referee as if, what, me? No, I've not done anything. But it's a poor tackle. He could have seriously hurt somebody. He's very lucky the lad's leg wasn't planted. Yeah,
definitely. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
It was a bad one. He should have been sent off.
Yeah, he should have. VAR's let themselves down there, really. Well, the referees have let themselves down even. You were mentioning the odds that Liverpool are joint second favourites.
Nice.
So it's Barcelona at 3.5. This is in decimals, sorry. And then Man City, Juventus and Liverpool are all 4.5.
I'd say that.
Next up is Tottenham 17, which is fucking mental, really, when you think that they actually won their tie. They're in a better position than the team they're playing against. One of them, isn't it? On the match against Porto, I've already said Dejan Lovren, you've already said Henderson. Sound. Okay. Southampton.
It all goes horribly wrong, doesn't it?
I mean,
we play the midfield that everybody's been clamouring us to play
so
long. Like the week before, the doomsday midfield starts, the Brexit midfield of Gini Wijnaldum, Henderson, and James Milner, and everyone fucking hates it. We win the game, but everyone fucking hates it. But then on Friday, we think, okay, Southampton are shite. Let's play a midfield that doesn't need to battle as much as against Spurs.
Yep.
We play a ball holder and carrier and just someone who won't lose possession, someone who's a bit more fancy on the ball in Keita, someone who seemingly has every attribute of a defensive midfielder in Fabinho. And yeah, everyone's saying that on paper is our best midfield. It's fucking shite. It was crap against Southampton.
Southampton played it really well.
Yeah.
It's what you can take from that. I mean, Southampton just got in amongst Fabinho and just outnumbered them, and we're just like, right, okay, we're just gonna just get at you really high up. I don't think anybody expected Southampton to press as high up as they did.
Well, that midfield is a midfield that expects sitting in.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's it. I think the way Hasenhüttl, I hope I got that right, is set up is with the 5-4-1. You would expect them to be sitting back, but what he's done is really clever, and he's basically just tricked Liverpool into a false sense of security, where he's just been like, right, okay, well, we're going to play this normally defensive lineup, but we're just going to push you further up.
Yeah.
We're just going to expect you. It's almost like he's played 3 at the back, 5 in midfield, and then 4 in midfield, sorry, and 3 up top, because he's basically pushed the wingers further up and then pushed the wing backs right up as well. Like Valerie ends up playing against Robertson for most of the night, and Mane ends up playing against Bednarak for most of the night because of that. And they do score early from it. It's poor from Liverpool defensively. It all stems from Joel Matip fucking off the right back.
Yeah, means Van Dijk's got to come over, and then there's a gap in between Van Dijk and Robertson. It's
just a chain reaction. It's a chain reaction, and it allows the worst player in the Premier League to get a sitter from 3 yards out.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's one of them. It's the only type of chance he's ever going to fucking score. Really, he's crap. He's the Irish Jermaine Beckford. That's what I've called him. So
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, we go 1-0 down. Head's starting to roll a little bit when the midfield is just poor. Wijnaldum is shattered. Keita's, you don't know what you're expecting from him. And then
Trent's really poor as well.
Trent is really poor, but it's funny we should say that when Trent is the one who puts the ball back in, and Keita gets the header off the back of a defender.
No, true.
But I mean, Liverpool don't really turn the game round. We're lucky to still be in it at that point, but we don't turn the game round until the experienced heads you were talking about before come on. In Milner and Henderson.
Yeah, Milner on for Trent and Henderson on for Wijnaldum.
Yeah, which made complete sense at the time.
Yeah, complete sense. And they just calmed it right down. Henderson took back control of the game.
It's funny you should say that. I don't think Henderson calmed it down at all. I think Jordan Henderson fucking just knocked it up.
Calmed it down in like a defensive sense. Right, that we weren't like panicking and being shite.
Because Jordan Henderson just got in their faces.
Yeah, exactly. He took back control of the game from midfield forwards.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, it's just a great pressing performance. Literally, the only reason I didn't give him a 10 in my match ratings was because he got a yellow card at the end of the game, which just seemed pointless, to be honest. But he was everything you'd want from a midfielder. He was everything you want from Gini Wijnaldum normally, and then more, because he got further forward than Wijnaldum ever really does. I mean, when Gini's in and around the box, he does get there, but you expect more from him in an attacking sense for Liverpool, and it does seem to be like you get one or the other with Wijnaldum. You either get him, flying forward and creating chances, or you get him holding midfield, holding the ball in midfield and knocking off passes, winning the ball back, kind of thing. It doesn't seem like you can get both, whereas this is exactly what we got from Jordan Henderson. It's really nice to know that we've got another option in there. Probably also gives a bit of a headache when Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain comes back.
Probably, but that's the best kind of headache to have. having too many players for your positions.
I mean, I don't think it does any favours to certain members of the squad. For example, I don't think it does much for Adam Lallana's chances.
I don't think Adam Lallana does much for Adam Lallana.
No, I completely agree with that. I think I expect Marko Grujic is going to come back in this summer as well because he's had a good season ahead of Berlin. But
yeah, I've heard that.
It's another option still, but I think Henderson re-adding another string to his bow. It's a string we all knew he had in him, do you know what I mean? And 13-14, this is exactly the kind of football he was playing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us probably thought that these days were behind him because of his injury record. But, what do we know?
Kind of like a shocking stat that I read on Twitter the other day, I think probably from Andrew Beasley, they usually are. The last time that Henderson played that more advanced role, like for a full season, was 14-15. He got 21 goals and assists that season.
Yeah, I did see that, yeah, but that's because Gerrard's still there as well.
True, yeah.
Which means that's the season that he gets given the vice-captaincy. And Gerrard's
he's captain for a lot of it, to be honest.
He is, yeah, because Gerrard's either injured or suspended. But yeah, because Gerrard's still there, it means he's playing the holding midfield role, which means Henderson's allowed to push further forward.
Yeah.
And then Lucas is still there as well at that point. Emre Can's still a holding midfielder at that point as well. So yeah, him getting more involved further up the pitch, he's a better footballer than he gets credit for. I do believe he is the most underrated footballer in the Premier League because nobody rates him. He's called constantly the most overrated footballer. How can he be overrated when nobody rates him? Do you know what I mean? It's so weird. I've never seen. It's exclusively
he's
Liverpool
not even
fans.
Rated.
Exactly, it's exclusively Liverpool fans, and even them we're a minority who turn around and just
England fans don't like him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. We exclusively just turn around and like he's good. He's good at footy. He is good at footy. I promise. He's a very good footballer.
Well, only half of us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean with him. It's less than that, I would say. But fair play to Henderson. I hope he keeps it up. I hope he keeps his head against Chelsea as well, because the last thing I can be asked with was him getting sent off against, like he did against City that year. That was fucking horrible.
How about that celebration though?
Yeah, it meant everything to him. You can see it. It means more to Jordan Henderson than it does to us, and that's saying something because at the end of the day, it means a lot to me.
It's quite a lot to me as well.
Yeah. Long may it continue. Liverpool, knocking teams aside. So it's a 3-1 win against Southampton away, which puts Liverpool back at the top of the Premier League. It is a 2-0 win at home to Porto, which puts Liverpool in very, very good position in the Champions League quarter-final, meaning that they can afford to lose 1-0.
Yeah. Thing is, like, if we score 1, Porto have to score 4. I can see Porto scoring.
I wouldn't be the fella.
I can't see them scoring 4 because I definitely can see us scoring.
Exactly. I'm not going to be the fella who bets against Liverpool scoring away at Porto when they score 5-0. They won 5-0 last season. Do you know what I mean? As I've said extensively, it's a different team and that, but it's still there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's still there. On the flip side of that, we got beat 5-0 by Man City last season. It doesn't mean that we're 5 goals worse than Man City.
No.
But we'll see. So Henderson was man of the match for Southampton as well. We both agree with that, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So now what we're going to do then is we're going to talk a little bit about Man City and Spurs because,
Spurs drew blood.
Spurs drew blood, exactly. I mean, it's interesting, and it sparked quite an interesting conversation between me and you in the COP because you didn't really see the benefit of this Tottenham win for Liverpool. Immediately, anyway.
I'm a little bit frustrated that maybe they've put all of their effort into winning this one and they're not going to have anything for the third game. Because the league game is the third game in this run of playing Spurs 3 times in 11 days.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can just see them beating them in the Champions League and progressing through and losing and rolling over and getting their tummies tickled in the league. I can just see that happening. I mean,
I don't disagree.
It's a stupid thing for Spurs fans to want to happen because Spurs fans do want this to happen. One of my best friends at home is a Spurs fan, and he he would rather finish outside of a Champions League places for Liverpool to not win the league. I think it's just...
It's pathetic.
It's weird. It's very
weird.
It's
pathetic. And I think if you actually offer that decision to them, I think they would genuinely... I think you have to take that one team who's going to win this title. It's either going to be Liverpool or Man City. Would you rather it be the team that proved that oil money and massive investment is the way to go about football, or would you rather go with a team who, we spent big money. We spent £75 million on a centre half and we spent £60 million on a goalkeeper after selling our best player for £140 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Would you rather... Why can't that team be the one that everyone wants to win? And if you take the fan bases aside, we're not like, all right, Twitter's unbearable, but we hate Liverpool Twitter. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we're like... It's not like
I'm posting this on Twitter. Don't say that.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No, it is unbearable.
We hate the bad Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are sound.
The bad Liverpool Twitter, exactly. I mean, if bad Liverpool Twitter wants to pick this up and share it around, then I'm fine.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll get right on the Henderson hating train. He only passes sideways. Just sometimes he's standing sideways, so it's forwards.
It's a good theory, that I like it.
It's all relative, man.
Yeah, but I just think I just don't see that Spurs, like, anyone actually means it. It's like any United fan who doesn't want Liverpool to win the league because it might mean that. Well, if anyone wants them to get beat by City because it means we won't win the league, then they're lying, because it means that they might not get Champions League football. Now they're sixth in the table again. They need to pick up some points against someone, otherwise they're having a season without Champions League because they're not winning the thing this season.
That's 4 out of 6. That's
Exactly.
4 out of the last 6 seasons. No Champions League if you don't get it this season.
A team like Man United can't do that.
With a manager called Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, not very attractive.
Exactly. The only thing that they have is
he's a decent looking bloke. He looks like Andy Serkis, but
I know what you mean. Unless it's actually Sir Alex Ferguson in charge, but it's conspiracy theories right there, isn't it? But going back to what you said there about Spurs maybe putting all their effort into this, I think what comes about from that is that this is the first game at the Tottenham Stadium. Do you know what I mean? In the Champions League. Sorry.
I was going to say.
I know they played Palace there the other day, but this is the first big game in the new stadium, so there was always going to be a lot of effort going into it. The next 2 games against City are away, both of them.
Yep.
Now, the way that they've set up now is, obviously City are going to come out flying like they always do, and they're going to try and score early. But if they don't, then that's a big 90 minutes of football for City. It's a big 90 minutes, a big ask.
They've got to throw absolutely everything out.
It's a big ask for a squad that's a bit threadbare at this point because they're all a bit worn out. It's a big ask. And then to go and do it again for 90 minutes on the weekend afterwards as well. After you've played a Crystal Palace team who just don't like playing against big teams, or just don't want to play badly against big teams. Do you know what I mean? It's a big week of football now, and I think it started off in the best way possible for Liverpool. And I also do think that the best thing that could have happened for Liverpool is Harry Kane going off injured. We end up talking about Harry Kane quite a fair bit on this podcast, but
I'm still not 100% on that.
Spurs score.
I get it.
Spurs score when he goes off injured. Spurs score, and Son immediately picks the ball up, fucking dribbles past Fabian Delph, I think it is, and then hits it through Ederson because he's a fucking great footballer.
He is.
He's better than Harry Kane. And now Spurs going away to Man City. If Man City have to throw everything forward at them in the Champions League, Spurs now, instead of playing the fucking fridge up front who can't really run that quickly, they're now going to end up playing Lucas Moura, Dele Alli and Heung-min Son with Christian Eriksen as well. The fast lads, basically. They've got plenty to get in at this City team. And if they beat them 2 out of 3 times, that is a massive toll mentally on Man City.
Definitely, yeah.
That gets in your head. Don't forget what Guardiola said about us when we only played well against other teams, and then he was saying already, I don't like the look of this Liverpool team. Imagine what it does to your confidence to be beaten by a team like Tottenham once, and then Tottenham turn up and at your place and frustrate you. Do you know what I mean? This is an ideal chance for Liverpool to benefit from this, and I really want Tottenham to do well purely because I've got vested interest in it. But at the end of the day, if Man City come out of this run of form, top of the Premier League and through in the Champions League, they deserve everything they get.
Yeah.
But they are not going to do it because they have to play. As I've just said, they've already been beaten by Tottenham. They've got to go away to Crystal Palace. Nobody likes playing there. They've got to then welcome Tottenham twice. Nobody wants to do that either because this Tottenham team is unpredictable. If they play like they did against us, they will get chances and they will score goals because City's defence is worse than ours because they haven't got Virgil van Dijk.
Yep.
And then they've got to play the Manchester derby after it. It's a massive, massive month for them the rest of this month. And I think it started off, even the Brighton game will be mentally affecting City. They were shite for 87 minutes.
Well,
we scored after 3.
We all said after the Brighton game, it feels like it's been fucking ages since they've played anyone who's not shite.
Yeah.
And not been able to just switch off after the first 10 minutes.
Do you realise that the Tottenham game in the quarter-final is the first time in a cup competition this season Man City have played anyone in the top 4?
Yeah.
Or top 6, I think it is, actually.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
And even across Europe,
yeah,
like they haven't played anyone in like the top 4 of any of the best European leagues, or anyone in the top 2 of any of the second best set.
Yep.
Which is fucking mental, really. Well, I mean, we're getting fumed on because we got Porto in the Champions League.
We had Bayern last
after
fucking
beating
round.
Fucking Bayern Munich, exactly. This
who just thumped Dortmund 5-0.
Exactly, and everyone was taking their hat off and applauding Spurs for that. And rightly so, Dortmund were a great team at the time. They fell off a cliff a little bit at the moment, which was always going to happen. They've got young players. They'll come back stronger if they can keep hold of the lads. But I just think that the run of City have got themselves into a bit of a lull because they're just going out and they're doing the formalities and they're beating teams and they're not exactly playing convincingly. Because it's 2-0 here against, was it Fulham, wasn't it, or something like that? 2-0 against Fulham, and then there was a 2-0 win at home. I think it was Cardiff. Mm-hmm. It's not great football anymore. It's getting the results over the line. There's nothing wrong with that when you're playing against the poor teams, but when you play against the good teams, it's not always enough. And you need
it was very nearly not enough for us against Spurs.
Exactly. And because of how our fixtures have been a bit more spread out, we've kept up this kind of momentum into these big games. So this Chelsea game, I'm not worried about it at all because we've had big games in the.
Yeah.
If you just ignore the Champions League for a second, Liverpool play Tottenham, then go to a relegation threatened Southampton, which you expect us to win that game, and then play Chelsea again. There's a nice break in. That Southampton game, although it was quite an intense game of football, it's still it's not us playing them, then playing Cardiff, then playing Brighton, and then we play Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? And that's what City have had, even longer runs than that.
Yeah.
And
I think the last good team they played was probably Chelsea in the League Cup final. Really.
I wouldn't even be surprised at all.
Like the rest have just been crap.
Even their Champions League opponents, fucking Schalke.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fucking hell are they going to do? So, I mean, if I look back over City's fixtures, so last properly hard game, you are right. It's it's Chelsea in the League Cup final.
So that's a fucking age ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely ages.
Well, exactly. It's the 24th of February, that game.
It's April.
Before that, the other hard game was the 6-0 over Chelsea. Hard game. Quotations. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? Sarri's still in charge of Chelsea. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get. Eden Hazard obviously hit a form this week, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course, but that team is so shite. We're going to win. It's fine.
Yeah. And
7-0. There we go. Put the marker down.
There's also another stat as well. I forgot. City's last game of this month is Burnley away.
Yep.
Burnley every season they've been in the Premier League
beat the holders,
beat the holders of the Premier League, and they haven't beat City yet this season. So you fucking never know, do you? I just think there's so much life left in this title race.
If Burnley beat them.
If Liverpool come out of this month top of the Premier League,
I'll go eat a worm. If Burnley beat them. I will eat a worm, and that is recorded. That is like
absolutely fine.
No bamboozle.
Absolutely fine. If Liverpool come out, if Liverpool on the 1st of May are through in the Champions League and are top of the Premier League, then this is very much on.
Oh, 100%.
This double is very much on. And that terrifies me.
I'm so excited.
Because I will die.
My poor heart just can't take it.
I know. It's... Yeah, I think Chelsea... I think Spurs are in a very, very good position in that. And I think Liverpool are because of that as well.
Yeah.
I do think there's a lot of weight on this Chelsea game now. Particularly if Palace end up doing something against Man City. We'll wait and see.
Yep.
Sunday's massive. Sunday is absolutely fucking huge, and I cannot wait. Still can't believe we haven't welcomed the coach back in this season.
I think it's for fear of jinxing it.
Yeah, it probably is, isn't it?
But for us all to have that same mentality, it's
There's a lot of us. I think
once we're through, touch wood. Once we're through to the semis, I think that's when.
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona will be... The ground will be rocking. Because it's not going to be United.
That is true.
No shot on target. No shot on target at home in a Champions League game. Fucking Alex Ferguson... Well, I was going to say we'll be turning in his grave. He's not dead yet. He's still in charge of Man United. Yeah, we're getting far too ahead of ourselves here. So let's... Just concern, as a fan base, let's just concern ourselves with the Chelsea game, and hopefully Liverpool will do the business this weekend and carry us fucking closer and closer to this, because City are dropping more points than Liverpool the rest of this season.
I'm getting so fucking excited here.
The last thing I wanted to just mention before we pack up is Liverpool today have been apparently rumoured to have be quite in advanced negotiations with Nike over a new kit deal. Now, we don't normally get involved with this kind of thing because as fans who's asked, but it will apparently be the biggest deal ever for a Premier League team, which is going to eclipse Man United's £750 million deal with Adidas, which is fucking mental, really, when you think about it, isn't it?
Just shows how far we've come as a club commercially. Because we did get left behind by everyone else, really, of the big teams, with deals like that. It's nice that we can go out and spend a lot of money now because a lot of money is being brought in by things like that.
Definitely.
And hopefully it means they can lower ticket prices. That'd be great. We won't do it, but we can always say and we can always ask. Don't get.
No harm in asking, is it?
To be honest, Nike's kits are a bit cookie cutter. I do quite like that New Balance are quite unique, but maybe that's because we're the only team that has New Balance in the league. I know Porto have New Balance, and some of their kits are a little bit similar to ours, so maybe it's just one of them. As long as they keep the dark red, I'm fine. Yeah, whatever.
I think I would be concerned.
Pretty much all of Man City's kits for the last 5 years have all looked really good. Really, really
home
good.
Kits. Their away kits have not been nice.
I've liked a couple of their away kits.
I don't like the ones from the season.
This season is horrible. Yeah. This season is absolutely horrid.
But I'd be fine with Nike. The only issue I've got is I think Liverpool's home shirt might end up looking a little bit too close to England's away shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
No, I'd rather it be Adidas again, to be honest. I love Adidas, the Adidas kits. They were the best kits we've had. Except for last season's home shirt. I'm pissed off I didn't buy it for myself, to be honest.
Yeah, I should have bought it as well.
Yeah, I'm not buying this.
I could play it tonight for Manuel. I could play it. Best game for the Reds.
I'm a bit annoyed that I haven't bought this season's either, but it's literally only because...
Alright, you'll get it with Champions 19 on the back.
One of our mates saw a lad go into the shop and buy that at the Tottenham game, and my head absolutely went. And then at the end of the game, I was like, "Yep, that's fine. Okay, I'll get one."
I'm going to go buy one too.
No, I think if Liverpool win the double this season, or Liverpool win any trophy at all this season, then it's going to be worth having this year for it, isn't it? To commemorate.
I'm going to wear nothing but it for a year.
Yep, that's fine. And I'm going to get it in a large because I'll be skinny by then as well.
Yes! Up the skinny Reds.
Up the skinny Reds. Up the double winning Reds, hopefully, as well. Okay,
we're both over 10 kilograms off. It's great.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It really has. I feel much better for it as well.
Yeah, it doesn't kill me nearly as much walking up all those steps to the Kop.
No, definitely.
It's nice.
Yeah. The celebrations didn't kill me against Porto either, which was always nice as well. So that'll do us for this week, I think. Because Matt's got to have a little run around now for football.
Yep.
So if you like what you've heard here, then please feel free to go and share this around. We'd really appreciate it. All of our links are on our Twitter to our various hosts, so Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, WordPress, all the things,
all the good things.
Yeah, we are on Facebook as The Story of a Poor Boy. We are on Twitter as The Story of a Poor Boy. The @ is TSOAPB_podcast.
Find DVDs of our recordings, all the shut down branches of HMV.
Yeah. You can buy our books in all good book retailers and some rubbish ones as well. Thank you very much for listening. Up the Reds. Hopefully when we come back, Liverpool will
still be
top of the league, and hopefully Liverpool will be through to the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Oh yes.
Up the fucking Reds.
Yeah.